Hello, welcome to HextupleO demo. HextupleO is a project that allows its user to quickly create virtualized compute, network, and storage infrastructure with OpenStack, or what I'm going to call a master OpenStack. So this elastically created infrastructure can be later used to create multiple ephemeral OpenStack deployments, which we're going to call children OpenStacks, all with nested target KVM support, so pretty fast. I'm gonna just start with creating one here. I have my HextupleO deployed and connected to my master OpenStack. I'm going to create new project or new tenant within OpenStack. I'm going to call it Chris. I'm going to put 3 controllers, 3 computes, and 3 Ceph storage. And I'm anticipating to install OSP11 or test OSP11. I'm going to hit build environment, and the Ansible playbook is being kicked off. So now depends how big the environment is going to be for this fairly large virtualized deployment. It might take about 3 minutes in my environment to deploy. So with this nested OpenStack approach, what we're trying to solve is a few use cases. First, giving access to working and highly configurable OpenStack infrastructure to professionals like myself, to either quickly test the functionality or feature within OpenStack before trying to implement it in live environment, or maybe present it in front of the customer. This also allows me to quickly validate bugs or maybe a new release of the OpenStack, or any solution that comes with OpenStack. HextupleO can also be used for training new people on how to deploy and operate OpenStack, or even quickly certify a third-party vendor integrations. Most of the partners I work with, they usually struggle just deploying basic infrastructure. With this, they can get this done in pretty much one click. Since HextupleO software is highly portable, I could plug this into literally any OpenStack deployment and start deploying children OpenStack installations quickly. HextupleO has been built mostly with Ansible and Shade libraries. The dashboard that you see here, this is mostly HTML and PHP, nothing too fancy. The OpenStack distribution that we tailored this for is, of course, HextupleO, so hence the name of the project for Nested OpenStack. Even though this has not been tested with other distros, I don't see any reason why it wouldn't work somewhere else. It is using public and admin keystone endpoints mostly, so that should work the same across all OpenStack platforms. So let's see what the progress here is for this deployment. As you can see, it's creating a bunch of ports. It adjusted security, and right now it's waiting for the Ceph instance to complete, and then it will try to create volumes and attach them to those Cephs. So while we're waiting for this, I'm going to jump quickly to the dashboard, and I'm going to log on as my just created tenant and user, or user and a tenant. User and tenant in this case is going to be the same. And if I look, you can see right away that there's things being deployed. I'm going to jump into instances, and right off the bat you can see computes, controllers, Ceph nodes, and under cloud are already there. Ceph nodes are being powered off. The reason for that is in order to attach volume that's going to be used for Ceph later, they need to be powered off first. But then all the networks, as you can see, already created, if we go under network topology, you will quickly see that HextupleO takes advantage of the network isolation. So instead of using VLANs, we're just taking advantage of the VXLAN networks and creating just bunch of networks within OpenStack, which makes things much more convenient. So going back to instances, so let's take a look at the HextupleO dashboard. Things are still progressing. There's another option here, admin. In admin, you can see all the HextupleO children OpenStack that have been already deployed. And you can see I have a few of them. It provides some basic information, what functionality or what version, how many nodes have been deployed, etc. And it's also, as quickly as we can deploy these infrastructures, we can also delete them by just, let's say I'm no longer testing this Horizon bug here. I can just hit Horizon bug delete, and it's going to kick off another Ansible job that will clean up everything that has been deployed here. All right, let's go back here. Let's see how far are we in the process. Gonna scroll to the bottom. Okay, it's almost at the end. It's upgrading all the packages on the undercloud node. So I will go back to my Horizon dashboard, and I'm gonna copy my infrastructure IP address. This is my public access to the undercloud. So SSH stack at IP address. I've never been there before. And I'm going to put my secret password that I created in my dashboard. There it is. So from here, I pretty much have access to the working undercloud VM and all the overcloud nodes. Nothing is yet installed. So if I want to get things rolling, I would typically go back to Google and I would type Red Hat OSP 11. And pull up just a doc for installing and upgrading OpenStack. And because a lot of this infrastructure has been already defined, we can skip quite a few of steps. And I'm going to jump right into the installing the director packages. And for that 5, I'm going to copy this command here and just paste it in here. And the HextupleO automatically attach the repos that we of course pre-create in our infrastructure first, but it does give us pretty quick access to everything we need to deploy this infrastructure. All right, so this is going to take a little bit. I'm going to speed this thing up a little bit. All right, this is finally done. So we can go back to the instructions, and the next step is asking us about creating this undercloud.conf. Another improvement or enhancement in installing things with HextupleO is a lot of the configuration files have been predefined. So if I type ls here, I can see the undercloud.conf is already here, and if I look into it, you will see right away that some of the IP addresses have been predefined, and these are based on dynamic values that are created by HextupleO based on the infrastructure you created. So I can go back to my page, I can skip this step, and then go right into the OpenStack undercloud install. So I'm going to copy this and paste it here. And as you guys know, this might take a while. It usually, on this virtualized infrastructure of mine, it still takes much quicker than a bare metal. However, it might take around 10 to 12 minutes. So I'm going to speed things up here. Okay, undercloud install complete. We can switch back to the instructions and just follow the rest of it. So I'm gonna source stock RC, and then we can continue on obtaining images. This will take a while too, so I might speed things up. Okay, now we can continue following the instructions from the Red Hat knowledge base. Extracting images to the images directory. And then importing them to the glance of Undercloud. Alright, finished. We can verify they're indeed there. And they are. Finally, let's update the DNS for our networks. Alright, moving to Chapter 5, introspecting or registering nodes for the overcloud. This is something that usually is time consuming. Fortunately, HextupleO has some shortcuts for gathering all the MACs and all the IP addresses for us. So instead of creating this instack environment file ourselves, we can just use the one created by HextupleO. And it is inside this directory with some other helpers called goodiebag. So I'm just gonna import the instack environment.json from goodiebag, and this might take a while, so I will speed things up. Alright, that wasn't too long. Next, we can verify nodes are indeed there. It's a little squished, but you can see all the power status and all the nodes are most likely there. So next step is introspection. And again, this might take a little bit, so I'm just gonna kick this off and wait for it to finish. The nice thing about deploying this with OpenStack is, as you guys might know, OpenStack instances in the Horizon dashboard, they have this capability of accessing the consoles. So since things should be starting to introspect, I'm gonna wait for them to start turning active. Oh, there it is. Some of them are changing active. So now I can just go to either of those nodes, and under console, I have a quick access to my introspection console, which is pretty nice. So I can still verify that everything is going. If I'm trying to verify introspection bugs, I can do that easily from here. Okay, introspection completed. We can skip tagging in nodes into profile. This is already done automatically by HextupleO. So we're pretty much ready to deploy. Let me go back in here and show you what else is available from HextupleO. First, let me go inside goodiebag, and then over here, as you can see, there's an instack environment.json that we use there's also that deploy sh. So I'm going to copy that deploy file into my home directory. I'm going to use it in a bit. So I'm going to vi that deploy file, and this is like a little template that we pre-create for the deployment. So I'm gonna, since I deployed 3 controllers, 3 computes, and 3 Ceph storage nodes, I'm gonna adjust these parameters. But then also, I want to add that storage environment line in here to make sure my Ceph is being deployed as well. So I'm gonna add it here. Storage environment, WQ. If you look inside the templates directory in a Stack Home user, there's a bunch of things that has been pre-created as well, like network environment that has everything dynamically filled for you based on a HextupleO input. So there's a lot of IP ranges, including external allocation, that have been pre-allocated for us. I'm going to decrease that range a little bit because I want to leave some of the IPs for my floating IP. So I'm going to leave this at 15, and then the rest of it should be fine. So I'm going to WQ out of it, and then VI storage environment. This is of course for my Ceph, and you can see everything is pre-configured for you by HextupleO with some extra configs. And because we have a 3 Ceph nodes, I'm going to increase this default size to 2 and 2. It doesn't really matter, it's just gonna give me some sort of replication. So I can WQ out of it. Really, I didn't have to make any of these changes. I could just leave everything as is and then simply go back to my home directory and execute that deploy script. And I'm gonna do that now and wait for it to finish. But after this step, pretty much your overcloud deployment is gonna be ready to go with Ceph storage configured, with network isolation. If you want to do any Delta, you're more than welcome to do it. It just gives you all the very basic steps out of your plate, so you don't have to worry about it. Okay. Overcloud created. I can just now verify its functionality. Just a basic, let's log on to Horizon, see everything is up. Let's see what the password for the admin is. Here's the dashboard and the password. Alright, there's 3 compute nodes, and they all have the same amount of local storage, which for me indicates, and the size is 284. And since we assign 100 gigs per Ceph, it looks like they're all talking to the Ceph. Looks good. This is HextupleO. Thank you.